Hi, I'm Dorothy Godin, broker at 3 Crown Realty here in Sudbury, Ontario, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Well, I had a really great reminder this week that no matter how long you've been in the business, this business will always surprise you. Things always come up that you don't expect, and you have to deal with them. So let me give you the story. So I had a great listing. We put it on the market. We got multiple offers. We picked the perfect offer that suited my seller. And within that offer, there was a request to service the furnace and the air conditioning system, which is fine. My people had no problem with that. They maintained their house very well, and they knew that, an inspection would not be a problem. So they thought, as a kind gesture, that since they're servicing both the AC and the furnace, they would also service and clean the fireplace. There's a gas fireplace in the rec room. They have the guy come in, and lo and behold, he shuts the gas off to the fireplace because the wood mantle is too close to the fireplace. There's a beautiful wood mantle, and apparently it's a fire hazard. Um, and it was quite a surprise because they bought this house 30 years ago. That wood mantle was there. The buyers who put in an offer did a home inspection. Nothing was mentioned about that, but codes do change. So now we have a situation where the buyers are expecting to have a fireplace that was, operational when they purchased it, and it should be operational and working fine when they close. And we have this mantle that has to be either raised or changed. And we start doing quotes. Very fortunate that both the buyer and the seller were very reasonable. My seller decided that, let's ask if, they want to do their own work, pick their own new mantle. And we renegotiated a little bit of a price reduction. Very fortunate that we're dealing with a buyer and seller who are very reasonable, but this opened up a can of worms that I certainly have never seen before in all my years. And moving forward, when people say, well, I'm going to do this, just to be nice, I am going to put a word of caution there because, never in my wildest dreams or my sellers did we think that the fireplace would be shut down because of this mantle, which has been there for 30 years. So it was a real eye opener. And, and it's interesting because, the sellers were just trying to be nice. And I thought it was a very generous gesture on their part, and it totally backfired for my seller. I heard of another situation, and I have not experienced this, but I was talking to a friend of one of my clients who purchased a house, and there was an open permit, and they decided that they would take on that open permit. And when they brought the city in to see what needed to be done, the city looked at something totally different than what the permit was for, and wrote up a work order. And so that was really shocking because the city was not there to look at the overall appearance of the house or the structures of the house. They were there just to work on, what do I need to do to close this specific permit? But they went beyond that and saw something that wasn't up to code, and wrote up this work order that now this new buyer has to deal with. So very interesting. There's consequences to everything that we choose to do when we're buying and selling. And certainly both of these situations have made me more aware. And, moving forward, when people say, well, I'll do this as a little extra, we're going to be cautious about that because these are two situations that could, be huge. Luckily, everything got resolved, but it's just very interesting. And it's very interesting that no matter how long you've been in this business, there's always new things that are coming up. So the spring market is in full bloom. Sudbury is super busy. Our volume, as I said last week, volume is down, I believe, just under 7%. So we don't have as many sales. And of course, that's due to lack of inventory, but average sale price year to date is up between 9 and 10%. So as always, you can reach me at Dorothy Godin at remax.net or 705-561-2360. Have a great week.